If you keep waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. with your heart pounding, your chest tight, and your mind running scenarios that don't even exist, your problem isn't overthinking, it's chemistry. More specifically, it's cortisol. Cortisol is a survival hormone. In the right dose, it keeps you alert, focused, and ready to handle life. In the wrong dose, at the wrong time, it keeps your nervous system locked in fight or flight. You can be exhausted and wired at the same time. You feel tired in your body, but your brain refuses to switch off. And cortisol doesn't just attack your sleep, it also attacks your waistline. That stubborn belly fat that won't shift, even when you're eating clean and training hard. Very often that's not a food issue, it's a stress issue. Chronic high cortisol keeps your blood sugar elevated and pushes your body to store more fat around your midsection, especially when you're underslept. In this masterclass, I'm going to walk you through how to naturally lower cortisol and get your nervous system out of that always-on state. We'll talk about what's happening between 1 and 3 a.m., how your liver and blood sugar are involved, and then we'll get tactical: foods, nutrients, simple evening and morning protocols, and breathing techniques that help your body finally relax, recover, burn fat more efficiently, and sleep deeply through the night. This isn't abstract theory. These are practical tools, so you can stop feeling like your brain is fighting you and start feeling like you're actually running your own system again. One thing before we go deeper: this is educational, not personal medical advice. If you have a medical condition, severe anxiety, chest pain, or ongoing insomnia, talk to a doctor. Use what I'm about to give you as a framework to work with your body, not against it. Let's start with what's happening between 1 and 3 a.m. when you snap awake for no reason. What's really happening between 1 and 3 a.m., your body runs on rhythms, whether you respect them or not. Between roughly 1 and 3 a.m., your liver goes to work. This is when it's most active detoxifying chemicals, processing hormones, and managing fats and stored energy. Around midnight, your blood sugar naturally starts to drift downward. You're not eating, you're not moving, your brain still needs fuel. Under normal conditions, your liver quietly releases a steady stream of glucose into your bloodstream to keep everything stable. You stay asleep. Your brain stays calm. But when your liver is overworked, inflamed, or congested from poor diet, late-night eating, or chronic stress, its ability to regulate blood sugar smoothly can get compromised. Instead of a gentle, steady drip of glucose, your blood sugar can drop too low, too fast. Your brain is extremely sensitive to drops in blood sugar. It reads that drop as danger, so it hits the panic button. That panic button is cortisol. Your brain calls your adrenals and says, "Emergency, get me sugar now." Cortisol spikes, your liver hurriedly dumps glucose into your blood, your heart rate picks up, your stress hormone melatonin drops, and now you're suddenly wide awake at 2 a.m., with your mind grabbing at imaginary problems and worst-case scenarios. You don't wake up because you're a worrier. You wake up because your physiology just sounded an alarm. So the first job is simple. Stop giving your brain a reason to panic at 2 a.m. We do that by stabilizing blood sugar at night and giving your nervous system what it needs to stand down. Night protocol. Stabilize, relax, switch off. 1. A slow drip of fuel, kefir before bed. If you tolerate dairy, one of the simplest and most effective tools is this. About 1 hour before bed, drink half a cup of plain, unsweetened whole milk kefir. Not low fat, not flavored, not loaded with sugar. Plain, full fat, live culture kefir. Here's why it works. It provides a slow, steady release of natural sugar, lactose. Not a spike, just a gentle trickle that helps prevent that aggressive 1 to 3 a.m. blood sugar dip that triggers cortisol. It contains slow-digesting proteins and fats, which keep your liver steadily fueled through the night so your body doesn't panic and reach for emergency stress hormones. Proper kefir contains beneficial bacteria that support the gut-brain connection and indirectly influence stress and mood. It has been shown to support GABA activity, a calming neurotransmitter that quiets the nervous system and helps turn down the stress loop. You're basically giving your engine a quiet overnight idle instead of letting it stall and slam into emergency mode. If you can't use dairy, you can mimic the effect with a small amount of protein and fat before bed, like a boiled egg and a few bites of avocado. But if you tolerate kefir, it's a powerful, compact tool. 2. Loosening the muscles of fight or flight, magnesium glycinate. If you're a man who feels constantly tight in the neck, shoulders, and upper back, like you're bracing for impact even when nothing is happening, that's your nervous system stuck in fight or flight. This locked-up tension feeds into cortisol. One of the simplest remedies is magnesium glycinate, taken at night. Aim for somewhere in the 200 to 400 millimilligram range of elemental magnesium, unless your doctor advises otherwise. Why magnesium glycinate? Magnesium is involved in hundreds of cellular processes, including relaxation of muscle and nerve tissue. Glycine, the amino acid it's bound to, is itself calming and supports GABA, the neurotransmitter that turns down the stress response. Together, they help your body shift from on guard to I can finally exhale. When cortisol is high, your body keeps your muscles subtly activated and ready. You don't notice it until you try to fall asleep and realize your whole system feels braced. Magnesium helps unwind that physical tension, which makes mental relaxation much easier. Combine the kefir with magnesium glycinate about an hour before sleep, and you've already checked 2 major boxes: fuel stability and neuromuscular relaxation. 3. Turning up melatonin. Naturally, lavender oil. Sometimes you're doing everything right, but there's still a sense of being wired. The heart is slightly elevated, thoughts keep looping, you feel like you're hovering just below restful. This is where aromatherapy with lavender oil can help. Lavender contains an active component called linalool, which has been shown to support the release of melatonin and signal your brain that it's safe to switch from wakefulness to deep rest. It influences the same nervous system pathways we're targeting with magnesium and GABA. You don't have to overcomplicate this. Put a few drops of high-quality lavender essential oil on a tissue or cloth and keep it near your pillow. As you fall asleep, just breathe normally. You'll naturally inhale it through the night. Over time, this simple habit can help deepen sleep and nudge your system into a more restorative pattern. It's not magic. It's another small lever that tells your brain, you're safe, stand down. 4. How to shut off the 2 a.m. Emergency mode. The double inhale-exhale. Even with everything in place, there will be nights where you still wake up. That's life. Your job then isn't to get frustrated. It's to give your brain a reason to go back to sleep instead of escalating. When you wake up with your heart racing, use this simple breathing drill to directly signal your nervous system through the vagus nerve. Inhale slowly through your nose, filling your lungs fully. When you think they're full, take 1 tiny extra sip of air at the top. Then exhale slowly through your mouth until your lungs feel empty. Repeat this 5 to 6 times. This pattern does a few things. It stretches receptors in your lungs that tell your brain, we have air, we're safe. It drives a parasympathetic response, the rest and digest branch of your nervous system. It directly helps lower heart rate and relax muscular tension. You're using your breath as a tool to switch off the cortisol surge in real time. So your night stack looks like this: stabilize blood sugar, relax muscle and nerve tissue, deepen melatonin, use breath if you wake. Now let's prevent the cortisol spike from building in the first place, starting first thing in the morning. Morning protocol: how you start. Sets the tone for your cortisol. 1. Salted water for your adrenals. Before bed, fill a bottle or glass with water and add about 1/4 teaspoon of high-quality sea salt, Celtic, Himalayan, or similar. These salts contain not just sodium, but also a range of trace minerals your adrenals use to regulate blood pressure and energy. When you wake up, shake the bottle, drink it slowly right away. During sleep, you lose water and electrolytes through breathing and sweat. When you wake up even mildly dehydrated, your adrenal glands need to push harder to get your blood pressure up and your engine started. That extra effort often pulls on cortisol. Rehydrating with minerals first thing gives your adrenals support instead of forcing them into emergency mode. You're basically telling your body, you're resupplied, you don't need to overreact. For many men, that tight chest or unexplained dread in the morning is less about mood and more about a dehydrated, stressed system pulling on cortisol to get going. Give it the minerals first and watch the edge soften. 2. Delay the digital hit. No phone for the first 45 minutes. The fastest way to spike cortisol in the morning is to roll over, grab your phone, and flood your brain with blue light, notifications, and other people's problems. Every ping, message, and scroll hits your dopamine and stress circuits immediately. Your brain goes from resting to reactive in seconds. If you want lower cortisol and more stable focus, set a simple rule. Phone stays in another room at night. Use a physical alarm clock, not your phone. For the first 45 minutes after waking, no screens. This gives your nervous system a chance to orient to the day on its own terms. Your brain learns to wake up to light, hydration, and movement, not crisis and stimulation. Men love to say, "I need my phone." No, you're just used to it. If you're serious about lowering stress, stop defending your worst habit. 3. Light first, then coffee. Morning sun as a hormone reset. Within the first hour of waking, get 10-15 minutes of natural light in your eyes, not staring at the sun. Just being outside without sunglasses, letting natural light hit your retinas. Here's what that does. It sends a signal to your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, that it's daytime. This helps your body set a cortisol curve, a healthy rise in the morning that gently tapers through the day instead of spiking at night. It supports proper timing of melatonin, so you're more likely to feel sleepy at night when you should. You're syncing your internal clock with the environment, something your biology expects but modern life has erased. Do this consistently and you'll notice. You fall asleep faster, you wake up calmer, your energy becomes smoother instead of up and down. You can drink your coffee after you hydrate and get light, not before. Let your natural system wake up first. First meal. Stop spiking and crashing your cortisol. What you eat in your first meal sets up your nervous system for the rest of the day. If you wake up and go straight into sugary cereal, toast, fruit juice, or heavy carbs, here's what happens. Blood sugar spikes. Insulin spikes to bring it down. Blood sugar then drops too low. Your brain interprets that drop as a threat and calls in cortisol. You've just created the same pattern you experience at night. Stability, spike, crash, stress. Instead, you want your first meal to engage your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that calms and grounds you. One key player here is acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter tied to focus, digestion, and relaxation. Your body builds acetylcholine from choline, which is abundant in egg yolks. A simple, powerful first meal. 2-4 whole eggs, cooked however you like. Optionally add avocado, smoked salmon, or a small portion of pate or liver for extra B12 and healthy fats. This kind of breakfast keeps blood sugar stable, provides choline for acetylcholine, supports your nervous system and calms stress hormones instead of agitating them. You're telling your body, we're fueling for performance and stability, not chasing a sugar high. Calming nutrients. B1, B5, and nutritional yeast. 2 vitamins that quietly support a calmer nervous system are vitamin B1, thiamine, and vitamin B5, pantothenic acid. Both play roles in energy metabolism and stress resilience, including adrenal function. One easy way to get a mix of B vitamins is nutritional yeast. Sprinkle it over your morning eggs. Add it to salads or vegetables later in the day. Many people notice that shortly after consuming it, they feel a subtle sense of ease, as if the nervous system stops buzzing as loudly. You can also get B1 and B5 from sunflower seeds, beef liver ground, flax seeds. Certain whole foods mixed into your day. You're not chasing some miracle vitamin. You're just giving your system the raw materials it needs to handle stress without going into overdrive. Coffee discipline and green tea as a tool. If your cortisol is already prone to running high, coffee can either be your ally or your accelerant. Set yourself one simple rule. 1 good coffee in the morning. No coffee after 10 a.m. Caffeine has a half-life of around 5-6 hours, which means if you drink coffee at 2 p.m., a significant amount is still circulating when you're trying to sleep. Your brain might be exhausted, but your body is chemically stimulated. If you still want something warm and focusing later in the day, use green tea. Green tea contains L-theanine, an amino acid that crosses the blood-brain barrier, promotes calm focus, smooths out the jittery side of caffeine. 1 to 3 cups of green tea spread through the day can help you feel alert but not wired. You can also find L-theanine in supplement form or certain calming mints. The goal isn't to cut every stimulant from your life. The goal is to stop using stimulants in ways that smack your nervous system around and sabotage your sleep. How cortisol and belly fat actually connect. Now let's talk about what's happening around your midsection. Your body was never designed to live in constant fight or flight. Cortisol is supposed to spike under threat, then drop back down once the problem is gone. When stress is chronic, work pressure, relationship drama, poor sleep, digital overload, cortisol can stay elevated. When cortisol stays high, blood sugar stays higher. Insulin has to work harder. Your liver keeps converting excess sugar into fat. A lot of that fat storage is prioritized around your organs and belly. That soft, hanging belly that doesn't respond to diets the way it used to is often a physical sign that your body's been in survival mode too long. It's not just about calories, it's about chronic chemical stress. Once you start lowering cortisol and sleeping deeply again, your body can finally switch from survival and storage back to repair and fat burning. Cravings drop. Emotional eating gets easier to control. You're no longer fighting your biology every time you try to lose weight. So part of lowering cortisol is not just calming your nervous system, it's also changing how and when you eat. Eating pattern. Fewer meals, deeper recovery. One of the biggest drivers of blood sugar volatility and liver stress is constant snacking. Every time you eat, especially carbs, your insulin spikes. If you're grazing all day, your system never fully resets. Your liver doesn't get a break. Shift to 2 to 3 solid meals per day with high-quality protein, healthy fats, fiber from whole foods, minimal refined sugar. This alone stabilizes your insulin, reduces the burden on your liver, and helps break patterns of fatty liver and inflammation that contribute to those nighttime cortisol spikes. Next, give your body a clean window to repair. Stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bed. If you sleep at 11 p.m., aim to finish your last meal by 7 to 8 p.m. This gives your body time to digest, clear blood sugar, and switch into fat burning and cellular repair by the time you're actually asleep. The exception is that half cup of kefir we mentioned earlier, which works more like a controlled tool than a late-night meal. It supports your sleep instead of competing with it. When you're eating all the way up until bed, your system is still dealing with digestion when it should be lowering cortisol, repairing your liver, and deepening sleep. You're burning time you can't get back. Keeping the liver online. Cut the junk. Add clean fats. To keep your liver functioning well so it can do its job at night, cut heavily refined sugars and ultra-processed foods. Avoid industrial seed oils and junk fats that inflame the liver and promote fatty buildup. Focus on single-ingredient whole foods. Use clean fats like extra virgin olive oil, avocado, grass-fed butter or ghee, if tolerated, and naturally raised animal fats. You want your liver efficient and responsive, not bogged down and angry. When your liver is clean and responsive, nighttime blood sugar management becomes smoother and cortisol has fewer reasons to jump in. Extra reinforcements, adaptogens, nerve tonics, and probiotics. For some men, even after all of this, life is still intense, demanding job, family, high output. In that case, certain herbs and compounds can add another layer of support. Adaptogens and nerve-calming compounds. Some options to explore, with your doctor if you're on medication. Ashwagandha, a well-known adaptogen that can help your body adapt to stress and support more balanced cortisol over time. Lemon balm, a calming herb often used to ease anxiety and help with sleep. Tart cherry, naturally supports melatonin production and can aid in sleep quality. Tryptophan, an amino acid that's a precursor to serotonin and melatonin, often used as part of sleep support protocols. These aren't meant to replace good habits. They amplify them. Think of them as reinforcements to a good system, not band-aids for a bad one. Probiotics that talk to your stress system. Your gut and brain are connected. Certain probiotic strains have been shown to influence stress, mood, and even cortisol. Different foods and ferments contain different strains, including Lactobacillus rhamnosus, found in some live culture yogurts, can interact with the vagus nerve and influence stress responses. Bifidobacterium longum, often present in kefir, has been linked to blunting cortisol spikes under pressure. Lactobacillus plantarum, found in traditional sauerkraut and naturally brined pickles, supports serotonin and mood. Lactococcus lactis, present in traditional buttermilk and aged cheeses, supports antioxidant status and healthy melatonin release. Instead of memorizing strain names, build a habit of including fermented foods. Kefir live culture, Greek yogurt, sauerkraut, naturally fermented pickles, traditional buttermilk or aged cheeses, if tolerated. You're feeding the army inside you that helps regulate stress, inflammation, and mood. Bringing it all together. If you're waking up between 1 and 3 a.m., wired and restless, if you're noticing persistent belly fat that doesn't match your efforts, if your patience is short, your sleep is light, and your mind doesn't know how to switch off, you're not just bad at relaxing, you're running a nervous system and hormone profile that's stuck in survival mode. The way out isn't one magic supplement, it's a system. At night, half a cup of plain, full-fat kefir an hour before bed, if tolerated. 200 to 400 milliliters magnesium glycinate at night, unless otherwise directed. Lavender oil near your bed to nudge melatonin and calm the brain. If you wake up, use the slow inhale plus extra sip plus slow exhale pattern 5 to 6 times. In the morning, drink salted water on waking to rehydrate and support your adrenals. No phone or screens for at least 45 minutes. Get 10 to 15 minutes of real daylight as soon as possible. Eat a protein and fat-based first meal, eggs, salmon, avocado, organ meats. During the day, use nutritional yeast or bee-rich foods for nervous system support. Limit coffee to 1 cup early, no caffeine after 10 a.m. Use green tea or L-theanine for calm focus instead of extra coffee. Eat 2 to 3 solid meals, no constant snacking. Cut late-night eating. Finish meals 3 to 4 hours before sleep. Focus on whole foods, clean fats, and reduce sugar and junk oils. Layer in fermented foods and, if needed, adaptogens or sleep-supportive herbs with guidance. You're essentially doing 3 things: removing the triggers that constantly hit your cortisol, giving your liver and nervous system the conditions to do their job, training your brain to trust that it can relax without something going wrong. Once cortisol comes down and your sleep deepens, everything else becomes easier. Fat loss, focus, training, patience, self-control. You stop living like you're under attack and start living like you're actually in charge. If your nervous system has been running you, this is your chance to flip that. Lower cortisol isn't about being soft. It's about being in control. Master your stress, and you change every other thing you're trying to fix.